The UConn Huskies just finished cutting down the net after winning the program's 12th national championship over the defending champion South Carolina Gamecocks 82-59. A storybook ending for Paige Becker's career as the senior gets to walk away a national champion right before she's expected to be the #1 pick in the WNBA draft. Coming up tonight on Watch Fox News at 10 and later on in Sports Zone, we'll hear from Klubnik on how he says it was Coach Sweeney who helped him regain his confidence. Coach Sweeney talked about how he felt he owed Cade that conversation and, of course, the drive his teammates now see in him to finish his collegiate career on top. Live in Charlotte, I'm Claire Foley. Watch Fox Sports. Here at Carolina Panthers training camp with Hunter Renfro. Hunter, took a lot of the last year for you to be here today. Can you talk about overcoming the challenges of one, just getting healthy, and then two, being in football shape?
Yeah, a lot of appreciation for my family, for my support system.
UConn and the Huskies are one game away from securing the program's 12th national championship. Gino Auriemma, well, he's 11-1 in the title games. That one loss handed down by none other than South Carolina back in 2022. The last time the BC Eagles had a winning record in the ACC was back in 2009. Heading into year 2 as head coach, Bill O'Brien says that in a conference that's seeing more and more NFL coaches leading these programs, himself included, the margin of error for getting on the right side of 500 is coming down to just a handful of plays each game. In 1949, the cost of gas was 27 cents a gallon. It was also the same year that Jackie Robinson and Ted Williams won MVP in Major League Baseball. And it will be another 50 years before you could take a video like this on your cell phone. 1949 was also the last time that Batesburg-Leesville High School won a state championship in baseball. That is, until now. Prior to the start of this season, there were a lot of people that doubted that this South Carolina team was capable of what they've been able to achieve. Prior to the season, they were picked to finish last in their conference, and now they're hosting their 9th regional in program history, and they're doing so as a national seed. Coach, big night tonight. Started down 9-0, turns into a 19-point victory. What does that tell you about the mental toughness of this team?
We started off a little slow, and it was getting kind of scary there.
And it wasn't just a win or a win by 40 that this team needed. They just really needed to have fun. I mean, Don Staley calls them a daycare for a reason, right? They needed to get back to who they were, and they really did that tonight. It was from Mylasia Full-Wiley throwing ridiculous shots out there to the rest of the team cheering each other on, dancing on the bench there. That's who this team is. And head coach Don Staley said all week long she really wanted her team to get back to their true identity. And while that is being silly and having fun, it's also a certain quality of basketball. It's relentless defense. It's aggressive rebounding. And after the game today, Staley, as well as Arkansas's head coach Mike Neighbors, talked about seeing that Gamecock identity here tonight.
I feel like when you talk to somebody, that's the first thing that you see. So I make sure to always get my nails like a cute design or a bright color.
Do you think that pink color is you?
Yeah.
It might seem like just nail polish, but for South Carolina women's basketball's Miriam Dowda, there's a connection between her bright pink nails and her personality. And her teammates would agree. Just look at their faces when we asked about her.
She's just like a joy of sunshine, honestly.
And for Dowda, from her nails to her smile, it's all intentional.
Having bright colors and being a positive person and just happy all the time. I know like some people look at that a certain way, but for me that's just the way I showcase my happiness and I showcase like my personality and just being happy all the time. I mean, I might be having a bad day, but my smile, me smiling all the time, you would never know that. I feel like it boosts my energy a certain way because I might come in to practice and I'm having a bad day and then somebody else is having a bad day, but if I'm having that smile on my face, that might lift up their attitude or their positivity.
Qualities that are not only noticed, but truly valued.
She's just so sweet. I don't even know. There's so many examples of her being just so kind. And it's so natural. Like it's not it's not fake. It's very real.
It just helps so much, like mentally. Like she's a person that you can go to. I mean, every day before practice, I give her a hug. Like it's like a thing. Miriam's like my sister, so just that person that you know you can lean on and depend on, and he'll be there for you. I feel like it's just comforting.
She has a heart like no other. Like she wants to see others win, and we be like, Miriam, sometimes you got to think about yourself. Like there's things like that with her, and I think you need someone on your team like that who spreads so much joy. Because if you have joy around you, it's just gonna make you a more enjoyable person.
And it's a role Miriam accepts, well, with a smile on her face.
The team, they're basically my sisters, and just having them every day and just, it's home away from home, basically. So I love them so much. I'll literally do anything for every single one of them.
You've probably seen a free little library before, but have you ever seen one that's just filled with the stories of women in sports? And it's fitting that something like this is here in Tampa, Florida. Because just as this is opening the door to the stories of women in sports, so do the doors to Amalie Arena as it hosts the NCAA Women's Basketball Final Four.
First of all, it's representation. And oftentimes things, programs, camps, clinics, events are for boys or young men first. And so to me, being able to go and see the young women that are few there or the few events that happen and be like, yo, I know your passion is just as much for, just as much as the boys. We see you and we're here to try to grow the game for you too.
And thousands of women and girls are being seen this weekend. While the Final Four is taking center stage, there are also events like this, where fans can learn about the history of women's basketball. These fans traveling near
from Gulfport, Florida,
and far.
Boise, Idaho.
All taking note of the spotlight that's shining on women's sports.
We were here 6 years ago, and the number of people is definitely so much higher. And so just to see how many more people are appreciating and celebrating the game.
That's why it's so much fun to come to this. And I've come to these for quite a few Final Fours, and I just love how it's expanded. It's, like we're here Friday, we're going to be here tomorrow. There's just so much to do and so much to see.
Those who have been longtime supporters say they're amazed by the talent on display in college basketball today, and it's why these athletes are household names.
Women's sports are just so much more appreciated. The players have advanced so far. It's amazing, and I just love that people are really behind them. You look around, you're looking for people that you might have seen on some of the teams, and not from years ago.
And while they're celebrating this as a win with a sport that has more than 100 years under its belt, they can't help but say it's about time.
I'd say that it's really cool and that it's taken too long to happen.
While it wasn't the storybook ending that South Carolina had hoped would be the perfect send-off for their seniors, it was for Paige Bueckers and the UConn Huskies. A player that's overcome so much adversity over recent years, got the cinematic closure her team and coaches say she deserved. And while UConn certainly wrote the script to their 23-point national championship win, Bueckers believes that others played a supporting role.
I just kept thinking something good has to happen, because if we were going to lose, it would have been before now. I don't think the basketball gods would take us all the way to the end. They've been really cruel with some of these kids on this team, so they weren't going to take us here and then give us more heartbreak. I kept holding on to that.
UConn was holding out hope for a championship win, but Paige Bueckers says they had a good feeling once arriving in Tampa.
I was telling Coach this run felt more different than anyone that I've been on in terms of the confidence, the lightness, the vibe that we kept cool and just served the moment, and none of us felt the pressure or the stakes of it all. We just leaned on each other for strength, leaned on our faith for strength, and just was so present every single day in everything that we did that we just enjoyed the moment and enjoyed being around each other and enjoyed this whole experience.
And Bueckers says she's also felt maybe some divine intervention, knowing that Kobe Bryant's daughter, Gigi, who unofficially committed to UConn before her death, could have been on this team.
There have been times this whole weekend and throughout the whole tournament that I feel like God has really shown himself, and my mom staying in room 824, which are both of Kobe's numbers, and stuff like that, where Abby, our friend that we lost this year, her presence has been palpable. my former teammate Amaya Battle, her mom passed away. She was a family friend to me, and they won the WNIT, and then so we're winning the national championship. And so I feel like it's just been a very blessed year. I mean, win or lose, it's been a very blessed year. But I feel like God's presence has really been showing out, and in little things you just see His presence so palpable. And so I feel like a lot of that too is Kobe's watching over us, Gigi's watching over us, Abby, Stephanie Battle.
5 years in Storrs, Connecticut that had their ups and downs. On top of the mountain, Becker says she's thinking back to the little girl who got her here.
Did a lot more reflecting of my childhood and of basketball being my safe haven and the escape for me from everything that went on through life, and how I was a little girl at the park envisioning being in the Final Four, being in the national championship game, and that was my safe place. So always sticking to that, and basketball has changed my life, it's saved my life, and so giving back to the game who has given so much to me, I think has been a lot of the reflecting journey of it. And then obviously the battles, the adversity, as much as you try to stay present, you recognize the things that you've overcome to get to this point, and you feel like it's all been worth it. So definitely a lot of reflecting, but also obviously staying present in the moment, but being grateful for where I am now.
A swan song for the senior that's the top scorer in Husky history in tournament play and third all-time in career scoring. Gino Auriemma already atop the leaderboard in most national championships for a head coach in women's basketball. He adds to that now with 12. Reporting from Amalie Arena, I'm Claire Foley. Watch Fox Sports.